Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So this site is called Take What Rings True. And my name is Teresa Micheletti. Let me make sure I have sound here. Okay. So this site is a site of spiritual thoughts. And I want you to take what rings true to you and let the rest go. You don't have to believe anything I say. I want to talk today about the Garden of Eden and the allegory of what that means. So, background information on Jesus a little bit, and let you know that spirit guides told us about God's intent for our lives. So, this all fits together. As you may know, Jesus, Yeshua, another name for Jesus, he calls himself, Yeshua spoke to crowds of people who were not literate. And in those days, people had not learned to read and write, not literate. So he used stories to explain things to the crowds who came. And one of my favorites is if you have the faith of a mustard seed, and a mustard seed is tiny, tiny, tiny. So it was a comparison that people could understand. So the Garden of Eden is also a comparison, so we can understand. If you're on the other side, heaven, you feel filled with love, no negativity. It's the perfect environment, a wonderful place. You just feel like every cell in your body is filled with love. And then we decide to come to Earth, which is not filled with love. And we're also supposed to be here to experience. We were created as experiencers for God. So God knows everything. You can call him creator, source, universe, knows everything, but has not experienced everything. So we were created to experience for him. So we're in this wonderful, loving place, and we decide to come into Earth to experience and overcome negativity. And we are also here to discover that we're all sparks of God, every one of us. You're a spark, I'm a spark, we're all sparks of God. And realize that bit of God within each of us. So the Garden of Eden represents heaven. The Garden of Eden, beautiful place. And then we're tossed out of heaven to experience the negativity of earth. We're here to experience the tree of knowledge. So, not just to know about it, because we can be told stories about what it's like to experience, but until we actually do it, it's totally different. You feel, you have the emotional part, not just the knowledge and the intellect. So the emotional part of ourselves comes to earth to experience for our creator, and we share that experience back with him. We don't have to do anything. So the snake represents earth and the experiences we're going to have that are away from the Garden of Eden, away from earth. Away from heaven. So we're in this wonderful, loving, beautiful place called heaven or the other side. And then we decide to come to earth to experience. And that's being like tossed out of heaven. And we experience, we overcome, and we gain knowledge. So the tree of knowledge. So it's a pretty simple allegory. And the Garden of Eden represents heaven and earth and our experiences, and especially the negativity that we come to experience on earth, which we do not experience on the other side. We can read about it. We can be told about it. We can look at it and the 360-degree visuals that you can get on the other side. You can see it in the scanning area, but it's not the same as experiencing it. You can also merge with someone who has had experiences and gain some of their experiences, but it's still different than actually being here on earth and experiencing for yourself. And that's why we come, because we gain so much experience and we get the perks of gaining levels on the other side. So, the Garden of Eden, it's a story, it's an allegory. It represents heaven, it represents coming to earth and experiencing. The snake is nothing more than the experiences and just being on earth and being away from the Garden of Eden. So we take that bait and come to earth. So we're eating not the apple, but eating the experiences of life. So that's just a little bit about the Garden of Eden. There's not a whole lot to that story, except that heaven is wonderful. It's a story, an allegory, and it's what spirit guides told us. I should probably put that part in there. Spirit guides would come in once a week and we would experience through Sylvia Brown. She would go into trance, go sit on a bench on the other side, not remember anything. Guys would come in and talk to us. And in this case, it was Francine who came in and told us why the story of the Garden of Eden was put out there for us to understand, for us to know that God loves us, that we're here to experience, and we will be okay because we're going to go back to God when we finish this incarnation, and that it's just an allegory, just a representation of what's our experience on earth. We're in this wonderful place. We choose to come into earth to experience and overcome, and we do. But God loves us totally, absolutely. We are filled with God's love when we're on the side and we realize that. But right now there's a veil between us and heaven, which is thinning because we're going through the shift. So it will feel more like the Garden of Eden. There'll be a transition now. Before it was heaven, earth, the veil, and there's not much there in between that we can understand. There'd be glimpses. You could see the edge of an angel. Sometimes you might see an angel in your mind's eye. Or if you're clairvoyant, you might see them. I see glimpses of them. I see like flashes of angels, flashes of entities, flashes of guides, flashes of fairies, whatever. But right now, we're coming to the time where we will see angels. We will see the elementals. So that will be exciting. So it's more like there's not just going to be the heaven and the earth. There will be this middle ground, the new earth, where we will actually see some of what we see on the other side. We will actually feel more of heaven, more of the other side than we do right now. And part of it will be when we recognize the spark within each of us and connect that. And we feel like we're all connected. We're all part of the representation of us leaving the other side to come. Pretty simple. We're gaining our own tree of knowledge, and it moves us up levels on the other side. So thank you for joining me. And maybe you want to think about your tree of knowledge and what you have gained in this life. And then when you get to the other side, you add it to all the things you've learned in other lifetimes. So your tree of knowledge. Thank you for coming to Earth and being with me today. And I hope to see you next week when I talk about something else. And that's going to be, I believe, Christmas Eve. and I'll still talk to you on Christmas Eve. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.